Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome. My name's Nurse Richard, the Wax Wizard. It's episode 164, I think. This was a bit of an epic, this one. I think you're going to enjoy this. I think it's at least, how long is it? You know, it's about 11 and a half minutes long. Just two ears. Same lady. Hello, if you're watching. They're both quite different as well. But my goodness me, what a battle it was. It was really difficult. It had a bit of everything in both these ears. Now you can see there is a lot of skin in this. You can just see the whitish greyish material underneath that, and so there is a lot of skin in this. It wasn't the biggest of ears either, neither of them were. It's probably why she'd been getting a problem, to be honest with you, but I was genuinely shocked as to how full they were. It went all the way back to the eardrum, and this ear in particular was extremely difficult because it was hard, it was compacted, it was quite matted with hairs, and the hard black stuff went all the way back to the eardrum. And so getting that off the eardrum a bit later on, as you'll see, proved to be a bit of a trial, shall we say. What's caused it, not entirely sure. I don't know if she's been poking anything in it or not, or I don't know. I really don't know. I don't recall her saying that she did. But it's unusual for it to be this full front to back in somebody relatively young. Now, as always, it's the only channel that I know of anyway that you get to hear the sounds as well as see the sights. The vast majority of people do like hearing the sounds. I thought I wanted to do something. The channel made it a bit different. There's plenty of other channels that do different kind of stuff, and so I wanted to make sure there's something for everybody. We're not here to talk about the science and all that, or blind with all that. There's plenty of other people who do that far better than I can do it anyway, to be honest with you. But we just have a bit of a chat, tell you a few stories, and watch and hear the sounds of these. A few people have said, I don't like the sounds. Volume up, that's what it's for. Turn it down. Turn it down and put the subtitles on if you want. But this just kept coming and coming and coming and coming. And when I took this bit out, I thought, that's it, great. Job done, but oh no, have a look at what's left. This really dark, hard plug, which it's wedged, and I mean really wedged in the narrowing now. Just before the eardrum, it goes narrower, then it goes wider again, and this is wedged right in that narrowing there. So you can see the whole thing moving a little bit there, can't you? And I thought, we're in for a bit of a challenge here. I've had to go down to the fine end tube here. Now you can just see a little bit of the eardrum, can't you? Just in the bottom right corner, as you're looking at it. Excuse me. So if I put the if you use the big suction tube, it might be a bit loud down there, and so it's safer all around to use the fine end, despite it having a bit less power, and because it's a relatively small ear. Excuse me, frog in my throat. Because there's because it's smaller, you can see a bit better in there, you know. And it was a relatively small ear. Thanks for all the new subscribers who've found me recently on the new follows, whichever platform you're watching on. Where have you been? I've been here for ages. I think nearly a year now since I've been doing this. But yeah, get catching up. There's a lot to do. And I've said this before, don't bother with the first 10, 20 episodes. They were all a bit garbage. I wouldn't bother. They were rubbish. But if you want to see them, feel free to have a look for them. You might see that how much I've got better at doing this. Practice makes perfect, as I say. Not that they're perfect now. But yeah, they were rubbish. Now, as you can see with this, the whole thing's moving again. But is it coming out? I'm trying desperately to slightly turn it to the side. So if I can turn it like from that way to that way and kind of pull it through that gap. But it's not having it. And I think, again, I've gone in a bit nearer with a scope so I can try and get the tube on that flat edge there, hoping that might do it. But spoiler alert, it didn't. I think in a bit we needed to pop some oil in there anyway to loosen it up and to lubricate the sides, more's the point. Excuse me. There's a bit of a bug going around. Everybody seems to have got it near us. Maybe I'm starting with it. If you're watching this, when it's released, I'll be off. I'm on holiday. I'm not going away. I'm just having a week off. I think I said it in another video, but I'm not sure which one I'm releasing. Because Mrs. Assured. It's her dad's coming over to us from Australia. I've not seen him for a while, so we're having some time off to spend with him. And it's also her birthday. I don't think she'll mind me saying this. She won't be watching this anyway. Her words, it's minging. I am watching that. And we're having a bit of a shindig. We'll have probably already had it by the time. It's a surprise party that she knows about. And yeah, she's the big 4-0. And I'm sure she won't mind me telling anybody that. But when anybody winds her up about her age, I say, well, listen, joke's on you because I'll be 50 next year. So I can't poke fun at her for her age, really. When I'm a little bit older. But hey, mature like a fine wine. I'm going to turn the volume up here and stop talking, because just at this point I want you to listen to what the patient said, because it was funny, and see what happened.
Oh my frickin' hell. Oh,
I'm sorry. It's dropped.
Where's he gone?
It's on your neck. Sorry. Oh, I've dropped some down people's shoulder before, but...
So yeah, it's not the first time I've dropped one. The fanning tube, as I said, it doesn't have as much power. So as I pulled that one out that she said it looked like a current or something like that. As I pulled it out, it fell. Now, lots of falling on people's shoulders and what have you, and rolled down the top. It's not uncommon. But this one, she was wearing a top. It was a bit more of an open neck top like this. And when it came out, it fell and it landed right on her neck here. It literally stuck to her neck there. So I had to go and pick it off. But we had a giggle, as you can hear. And yeah, she was funny. She was hilarious. Her reactions was priceless. And I know if you're watching, hello. And I know she's. I said it would make be quite funny listening to your reaction to this. So she's given full permission for me to share her reactions, as everybody does. Everybody's asked when they come if they won't mind using images. If they think it'll make a good video, you know. Nobody's ever said no. But you never include anybody's names or faces in them anyway. So unless it's that person who's had it done, nobody else would know who it was. There was a couple of stories I forgot to tell you. Do you remember a couple of episodes ago? If you found me recently, you won't know this. I wanted to share a few stories from my past career, which was as a district nurse / community nurse. Call them different things wherever you are. We visit people at home. And there was a couple of stories that stick out in my mind that I completely forgot what came to me afterwards. I think it was when somebody commented and I remembered what had happened. So I was looking after this fella. He's not with us anymore, God rest his soul. He was an extremely large fella, I think pushing on for possibly 60 stones. I don't know what that is in pounds for you Americans. There you go, nice and clear here. Second one, bit of a battle this one. Yeah, pushing on for 60 odd stones, something like that. He was huge, he was a really big man. But he had this, I can only describe it as a scrotal hernia. It's obviously it ballooned up everywhere. And his scrotum had grew to the size of, you know, like them balls you see in the gymnasium. It was absolutely huge. It was massive, and had a lot of wounds and what have you underneath this. So we had to treat this and bandage it, dress it, stick special dressings and plasters on it. About getting underneath it, I've gone in with the Rosensurgery here. Getting underneath it was easier said than done. So what we had to do, we went around with 5 nurses. We had 2 on each side. And each of them we'd put some towels or a blanket. You'd have one on either side, one nurse holding one and one nurse holding the other, towel on the other. And then all 4 of them, on the count of 3, they'd lift this thing up, lift this scrotum up, and usually me would have to get underneath and quickly take the bandages, dressings off, wash it, stick the bandages on again. And so I was underneath there, and I was like kind of looking up with my head, and I had both my hands under there. And one of them said, "Oh, it's slipping, my towel's slipping." I thought, "Oh no!" So they dropped it. They dropped this giant scrotum, and it landed on my head and trapped my head and trapped my arm underneath it. And we needed them, all 4 of them, to get the blankets back on. I literally couldn't get out. It was so heavy, this thing. I had to get the towels again underneath it and hoist it up again, so I could get my head and my arm out from underneath this. I shouldn't laugh. I mean, he laughed at the time. You know, he saw the funny side. But yeah, it's sadly not with us anymore. I think they actually had to take a brick wall down in his house to get him out. He was that large. Such a shame, really. Anyway, yeah, all kinds of stories. I think the story that kind of encouraged me to thought, oh, do you know what, I've had enough. I did get assaulted by somebody in a house once. And what annoyed me, I said, I should have known. I should have been told that this patient was violent. And yeah, absolutely battered me on my back as when I was examining him. She put a couple of discs out. And I thought, do you know what, I've had enough of this. I need to find another job. So here I am. That was kind of the straw that brought the camel's back, that one. It's not uncommon, especially in A&E and first line services, that unfortunately nurses and doctors can be treated by, you've got to treat violent people, you know. It is what it is, they're still patients at the end of the day. But it is increasingly more common, unfortunately, these days. So you can see, I had a rather waffling on there. I had a right back with that one, needed the Rosen inserter. I don't know if you could hear it flicking forward. It was that hard, the second ear. Managed to get it out eventually and pulled it out of the suction tube, and there it all is afterwards. Quite a bit went up the tube, so that's probably about half of it, that what came out. But I hope you enjoyed that and enjoyed a couple more tales. There's plenty more where that came from. But for now, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.